For a lot of people, crossing that 65-year mark signals a quiet shift, you know? It's seen as the time to just naturally slow down. But in today's explainer, we're diving into a fascinating blueprint that completely flips the script on the post-retirement chapter of life. We're going to break down 6 specific daily habits that keep the human spark glowing incredibly bright. Because as we'll see, the spirit of truly living, it never actually has to grow old.
Usually, society hands us this expectation that once you hit a certain age, say 75, the only thing left on your to-do list is to sink into a comfy chair, let the days blur together, and just watch the calendar pages turn. Picture that muted, fading lifestyle for a second. Now, I want you to completely contrast that with the vibrant, undeniable reality of someone who actively seizes every single day. We all know someone like this, right? That one person who carries a spark so fiercely bright, it literally makes everyone around them stop, smile, and take notes.
So what is their secret? Well, it all comes down to one absolutely crucial mindset. It's about choosing to look at an ordinary Tuesday morning not as just another block of time to pass, but as a totally fresh opportunity to do something deeply meaningful. When you or someone you love operates on this level, we aren't just talking about longevity anymore. You're looking at someone who is truly one of a kind.
All right, let's kick things off with our first pillar, mindset, and how a new chapter begins.
Think about what happens the moment a decades-long career finally ends. Without that standard 9-to-5 job, life can suddenly feel really unstructured. But the folks who thrive, they still wake up on time. They intentionally make their bed, they brew that first warm cup of morning tea or coffee, and they plan out simple, grounding tasks, like watering the garden or even just picking up an old book. It's these micro-tasks and structured daily routines that completely combat that heavy feeling of lost meaning. It's like an anchor for the day.
And waking up with this kind of intentional purpose does something truly incredible to the human brain. It keeps the mind remarkably active, naturally lifts your baseline mood, and carries this wave of positive energy through the entire day. In fact, doctors will tell you straight up that seniors who stick to a daily routine enjoy far better overall mental health than those who just kind of drift through their days. And that strong mental foundation, it paves the way perfectly for how they treat themselves physically.
That brings us right to pillar number 2, body, and the importance of keeping it moving.
What's really fascinating here are the tangible, real-world health benefits you get from something as simple as taking a morning or evening walk in the park. It doesn't have to be complicated to be effective. We are talking about vastly improved blood circulation, significantly stronger bones, and a mind that just feels constantly refreshed and alive. Keeping the body moving is, without a doubt, one of the single most beneficial choices a person can make as the years go by.
Notice that this absolutely does not require an expensive gym membership or intense, sweat-drenched workouts. Actually, scratch that. It's really just about managing daily chores with your own 2 hands. Doing a bit of light stretching, climbing the stairs on your own, or carrying your own groceries creates a physical flexibility that, honestly, sometimes puts younger generations to shame. Beyond just muscles and joints, choosing to manage their own physical lives gives these individuals a very unique, unshakable kind of confidence that spills over into everything else they do.
Moving right along to the third pillar, an active, curious mind.
It is endlessly fascinating to watch seniors fiercely refuse to stop learning. They completely shatter that tired stereotype that learning somehow has an expiration date. Instead of just sticking strictly to the familiar or passing time idly, they keep their curiosity incredibly alive. You'll see them taking on fresh challenges with real enthusiasm, whether that's finally figuring out all the hidden features on a new smartphone, experimenting with bold new recipes in the kitchen, or picking up a totally fresh hobby like painting, gardening, or even playing an instrument.
And there's hard, rigorous science backing this relentless curiosity up. Research consistently shows that giving the mind a new challenge significantly lowers the risk of memory-related illnesses. Engaging activities like knocking out the daily crossword puzzle or genuinely leaning into a new audio series literally keep the brain young. Their hearts and minds remain wide open to learning at every single stage of life, which naturally draws people toward them.
Which leads us to our 4th pillar, social, and the undeniable power of connection. It is all too easy to become isolated as the years pass by. Kids get busy with their own lives, old friends might move away or, sadly, pass on. But those who actively push back against this isolation, they are true givers. They aren't just taking up space, they are actively passing on hard-earned wisdom to younger generations. They're sharing their incredible, winding life stories, and they win absolutely everyone's affection by radiating this very genuine, magnetic warmth.
We always have to remember that human beings are fundamentally social creatures.
Loneliness is actually one of the most physically damaging things for your overall health. It's a real health risk. So making it a priority to have a weekly meetup with old friends, spending quality dedicated time with grandchildren, or just leaning over the fence to share a quick laugh with a neighbor, all of that significantly boosts daily happiness and builds a vastly richer, healthier life.
This transitions us beautifully into the fifth pillar, spirit, focusing on joy and independence.
By the time someone reaches this stage of life, they've undoubtedly seen it all, right? Deep, profound sorrow and immense, overflowing joy. Now, while some might become a bit hardened by life's inevitable trials, others manage to hold fiercely onto their smile. Finding joy in the smallest things drastically improves both mood and physical health. Genuine laughter isn't just a fun social tool. It physically reduces stress, directly benefits heart health, and is undeniably linked to living a longer, much more vibrant life.
It teaches us a profoundly important lesson. No matter what external circumstances you're handed, your attitude truly determines the outcome. Those who always seem to have a warm joke, a comforting anecdote, or a funny story ready for any occasion, they understand that time is precious. They know deeply that every single moment simply deserves to be lived joyfully, without hesitation. Building directly on that inner emotional strength is our sixth habit, holding on to a fierce sense of independence. Instead of becoming completely dependent on others for the small choices, they hold on to their dignity by keeping life very much in their own capable hands. This means actively continuing to handle their own finances, managing their own daily meals, and making their own uncompromised life choices day in and day out.
Now let's be super clear here. This doesn't mean being stubbornly independent to a fault. True self-reliance means graciously accepting help when it's genuinely needed, but fundamentally preferring to keep the steering wheel of life firmly in your own grip. This independence gives elders a deeply meaningful feeling that they absolutely still matter and that their daily choices continue to define their unique, ongoing path in the world.
Let's bring all of these insights together in our final section. The spirit never ages.
When we stack up all these pillars, mindset, body, mind, social connection, and spirit, we realize something pretty vital. Age is ultimately just a number. What actually matters is the spirit that stays alive inside. Every morning is a completely fresh beginning, and absolutely no moment of living is ever meant to be wasted. If you or an elder in your family actively practice even just one of these habits, you're looking at someone truly special. Cherish them. Spend time with them. Because true beauty isn't about youth. It's found entirely in the conscious, beautiful way a person chooses to live their life every single day.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. Look closely at your own routine for a second. What habits are you actively building right now to ensure your spirit remains ageless? And more importantly, who is that living, breathing example of the golden spirit in your own family that you need to pick up the phone and call today? Life is short, but live the right way. Every moment is unforgettable. Think about it, reach out to them, and keep that spark alive.